Top billing. Yo, top billing. All right, top billing. It's a long time coming on this one. Your boy's beaming from ear to ear. I had to let it marinate because it takes me back to a few years ago. But before that, man, make sure you support quality content. Anything you want to give is anything, man, to make sure these lights stay on up here at Top Billing Sports so we can keep giving you that heat rock. All right, so 3 or 4 years ago in the state of Georgia, man, think about the quarterbacks that we had going into college football and how it relates to this particular draft right here. Obviously, the best quarterback at the time, and to me still the best quarterback, is Trevor Lawrence, right? He was killing it ever since, man, damn near middle school or whatever like that, man. He's been a household name here in the state of Georgia. You also had guys like Jake Fromm, drafted by the Buffalo Bills last year. You had another guy in the draft as highly regarded as Trevor Lawrence towards the end of their high school careers, their respective high school careers. That will be one, Justin Fields, who should be a top 5 pick or so in this particular draft, maybe going number 3 overall. That guy is the absolute goods as well. And then you had guys like Emory Jones and, man, several other guys. But to me, a 1B to Trevor Lawrence, my favorite quarterback, a guy who is equally my favorite quarterback, who I said at the time I thought would be a number 1 overall pick when he eventually came out. And that was one Davis Mills. So obviously wrong on that particular projection, but I don't think I'm wrong from the standpoint of his skill set. What happened is Davis Mills went out to Stanford at a time where Stanford was bereft of elite talent like it usually is, and obviously the guy has had some injury problems. It started in high school, actually. I believe in his senior season he got injured in a game at the Georgia Dome when the man was rocking and rolling. He got injured doing what he does very well, and that is running. The guy's a 6'4", 220-pound, complete man. He is an absolute man. I'm telling you, a guy's guy. You look at him, he just looks like a damn quarterback, man. I went to probably 5 or 6 of his high school games because he lived right down the street. And obviously working at Rivals at the time, covering these high school kids as it relates to the University of Georgia and several other schools that I work for at Rivals.com, or I covered at Rivals.com. Being able to having to be tasked with going to these games and doing film studies on these kids. Davis Mills was the best dude that I ever seen, and I just so happened to have struck up a friendship with his personal QB coach, one being Tony Ballard, good friend of mine there, and being able to pick his brain about some of the quarterbacks that he had. His best pupil, in my opinion, is Davis Mills, and I believe Davis Mills, if he were to go to the Washington football team, whoo, man, Washington football team is a team that has next anyway. Imagine that. You talking about solidifying your future with a quarterback like that could be had perhaps in the 2nd round or later. You don't even have to mess with that number 19 pick, baby. Christian Darrisaw, that's your guy right there. Christian Darrisaw from the Virginia Tech Hokies. Pair him up with Morgan Moses on the other side, Roulier, these guys you have on the inside. You already got the best line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball. With 2 damn edge players that are franchised and 2 inside players, interior players in Payne, of course, and Jonathan Allen. Like, come on, man. Who does that? Who has Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Daron Payne, and damn freaking Jonathan Allen? The Washington football team, man. So these guys are absolutely loaded there. Just a few spots to plug in, and they have next. But that damn franchise QB slot, to being able to get a guy like Davis Mills, man, I don't think you guys understand how good this guy is. I think he's the most complete quarterback in the draft. That's not named Trevor Lawrence, obviously. These guys are going to have warts to them, every single one of them, whether it be Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Kyle Trask, whomever you want to talk about. Except Trevor Lawrence, I got to keep going back to that. Whether they be the level of competition, whether it be the amount of starts, and Davis Mills is included in that. But what Davis Mills has is he's just a complete thrower of the football, and he's a good athlete with really good size. 6'4", 220. Man, he can work the quick and mid-range game with the best of them. You know he played in that back-to-the-basket, play-action, fake-driven, under center, sight adjust, working vertically. to to guys that probably won't be high-level players in the NFL, or could be, you never know, like that. But he was able to do what he did in his little bit of starts, and you can see the glimpses of the future. But he still had 4 years of college at Stanford, so that's 4 years under a guy like David Shaw, one of the premier quarterback coaches on the entire planet. So imagine that. He did get that, even though he does not have the requisite starts. And the guy played in an offense that will translate to what they're trying to do at a number of spots. So even beyond a great Washington football team, the Chicago Bears, or whomever it is, man, Davis Mills, I'm telling you, he's that dude. As a matter of fact, man, let's go ahead and get into it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I normally like to concentrate on mid-range and quick game stuff, the higher percentage throws that you're going to see in the playbook more often. But I know how people are. They want to know if someone can push the ball down the field. This kid can push the ball down the field with the best of them. But don't confuse usage with ability. Stanford's not going to push the ball down the field like most teams. But as we can see here, you got him hitting Connor Weddington, who's getting vert right here. And Connor Weddington's a pretty good guy who can go and get it when necessary there. But you can see right here, 5 yards into the end zone, ease of motion. I love his throwing motion, man. Very much like an Andrew Luck. That's what he reminded me of, right? Not saying this guy is Andrew Luck by any stretch of the imagination right there. They just so happen to have gone to the same school. Remember, I knew this kid before he was going to Stanford, and I thought that he reminded me of Luck, but not now, right? I'm not going to compare anybody to the GOAT, but your man right here, check this out. Ease of motion. He knows exactly how to feather the clutch and his product placement. Look at this. Oh, too easy for him. Absolutely too easy for him. Let's see it once again in regular speed. Somebody bearing down on him. Nah, it's just too easy, man. Love it. Great throwing motion, great placement. All right, this time in the boundary. Once again, the Weddington. Look at the fade on this one. This is a good throw, but it's a great catch as well. Oh, look at the fade. Weddington did a good job of giving him enough space to the outside. Look at this. Oh, that's a nasty catch right there. Weddington might surprise some people in the NFL as well. You see right here? He's a very polished passer. You can see him on the pull here. Not going to stare down his primary, I would say, 85% of the time. Sometimes it doesn't matter because you have your pre-snap read on that there. See the easy over-the-top throwing motion? Very much like a Carson Palmer type, right? Check this out right here. Knows exactly where to pull it. What I say, he's able to steer. Look at that. But look at the catch by Weddington. Great pitch and catch right there. All right, you got Simi Fehoko here. He's kind of on a numbers grip. Doesn't leave himself a lot of room here, but you can get the chance to see Mills push the ball down the field 50 yards or whatever. Just look at the ease of motion. Almost got it there. Looked off the safety. You can see, oh, just one step. But the guy can push the ball down the field, man. That ain't nothing but a thing. But I like his mind a little bit more than that. That's just me, period, though. That's what I want to see in a quarterback. He's got a good brain here. If you can see, they were playing a little bit of quarters coverage. They switched in between, right? So there's running quarters coverage, and then we'll bend into a cover two, and him being able to recognize the corner right here, getting this particular out route that will leave the vertical portion of this guy right here. Matter of fact, we can diagram it out. I have an out route right here, and then you'll get vertical. My man, I believe that might be Michael Wilson right there. Cornerback, remember, this is his area if he's playing cover two, so that will leave the corner here, the safety here, having to replace the corner, and he doesn't do a good job of being able to get there. However, it's all Davis Mills' job right there because he pushes the ball away from him. Look at that. He actually did do a little bit of a good job of getting to it and get a nice little yak there too. But he was able to drive the ball down the field, didn't put that much air on it, and just quickly recognizes that. Now look at that velocity. Oh, you talk about arm strength, let it be functional. Look at that man drive. Now we can really see his motion right here. Strong to the core right here. Great base width. Really drives off that back leg. A lot of these guys these days, man, are jingle-footed, right? They fairy-footed, real light on it. I like a guy who can drive off that back leg and shoot that velocity there when necessary, and you can just see the ball cutting the wind right there. The safety had no chance. And he puts it out and away. That, my friend, is an NFL throw. But then again, this is an NFL offense, baby. You're talking about Stanford. The shit that he's doing in college is going to translate tremendously to whichever team he goes to. All right, definitely going against the grain with what I normally do. Now I'm talking about this man and his evacuation plan. Now check this out. He will burn you. That's just what it is. The guy can run. He's a big dude that's athletic. And this was when he was coming back off of an injury or whatever like that, so he wasn't his normal self. You see him now? Look at this right here. This is nasty. You talking about leaving exit wounds. He will leave exit wounds on you like you wouldn't believe. You can see him chaining through his progression. Got a free hitter right there. It don't matter. He's strong, and he can go ahead and pick it up when necessary as well. Guy's an athlete. What he ran, I think his fastest time as pro D was a 4.58. So 6'4", 220 with 4.58 speed. Obviously, it's a pro day, so take that with a grain of salt. I would give him a legitimate maybe low 4.6s, right? Maybe he can scratch 4.58. I don't know. If he's fully healthy, all I know is the guy can run. Just like a young Carson Palmer before he had his injury. He was a really big, strapping, strong athlete as well. And the dude with the initials AL that I don't want to mention anymore. You pretty much got sticks across the board here. What I love about Stanford, obviously with David Shaw and these guys, this pro-style offense, is that you're not looking over to the sideline being spoon-fed what to do. You're having to think the game through, right? They empower their quarterbacks just like quarterbacks of the yesteryear, right? So you see him right here, chaining through his progressions, fire back, boom. Look how quickly he works backside. You can see him right here having to direct traffic, exactly knowing where to go with this. Not there, right there. Boom and fire, right? Cock and fire, pause. Coming out here on the pull right there. Want to hit that initial primary. And what that does, obviously, is it also controls the second level players. You're not just controlling the secondary or the third level players. You're controlling guys on the second level. And then look that he's unable to work that, especially with this man coming with this type of velocity and product placement. And it allows my man Simi Fehoko to work after the catch as well. So make sure he gets that. All right, you're going to have a sail route right here. And, of course, you see him right there. They'll work with 13 personnel. That's all. That's my style of football. I love Stanford football. I love David Shaw and those guys, Jim Harbaugh and Pep Hamilton and these guys that came from there. You can see right here, 13 personnel hit this cell route, back to the basket, play action fake, pull it in the belly of the beast. Look at the product placement. A man's just got it like that, bro. Perfect mechanics, love his throwing motion, that over-the-top delivery. A lot of people, all right, you definitely have to be able to throw off platform these days or whatever like that, but there'll never be a substitute for a guy like this. If Andrew Luck came back in the league, he would still be one of the best, period. But you can see him right there. Nice over-the-top classic delivery. Being able to take something off, put something on when necessary. Great throw out in front. Kyle Hamilton couldn't get there from Notre Dame. To me, this is a bit of a lost art right here. You got a 6'4" guy right there. That's a mismatch most of the time on the outside here. Got him on a fade, but it's a body jump ball fade, right? Put him in an even exchange situation. Some guys just can't throw this. I just don't understand why. They'll sell this bad boy over their head, but it's got to be like a basketball, like an entry pass into the post in basketball. You put it up high enough for your man to go and get it. And you obviously got to be able to take something off of it as well. So check this out. Look at that. Feather the clutch. Too easy. Bryson Tremaine. You see him right there adjusting the protections. Calling the game at the line of scrimmage. Not looking over to the sideline, looking at a card. Right? Looking at a card that got Denzel Washington and Ariana Grande on it or some goofy shit like that. And the Teletubbies. The fuck out of here, man. Let's get back to some real football. Look at this man. Look at this man feather the clutch with Teletubbies. Look at this man feather the clutch right here. That's when you have that over-the-top delivery right there. It works really well for you right there. To bring it down, put some air on there, let it come down, and place it correctly to where he can just go and sky over a guy that's just going to be smaller than him. Love it. You talk about a small window of opportunity right here. It looks like this originally was going to be a curl, but then they kind of adjusted right there on sight, and he kind of works to the open portion of the zone. However, you'll have him bracketed. You got a man underneath right here. Then you have a guy over the top as well. But look at the small window of opportunity, and he takes advantage of it. And looking it off, chaining through his progression. Oh, I don't think you guys understand. Look at this. Oh, come on. Come on. That's hard. Look at this right here. I didn't even see the super underneath player. So you got a one player underneath, another player, and then another player over the top. Gets it through him. Gets it through him as well. And hits my man right there where it needs to be. That's some extreme accuracy right there. Come on, man. Nothing that this kid can't do. I'm going to come back with a part 2 on Davis Mills just because that's my guy. But I wanted to get this out here. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people probably don't know much about Davis Mills. But if you did, man, coming out of high school, this guy was the goon, man. He was a straight up goon. I believe he was the #1 quarterback in his cycle. And, man, I don't think anything has changed. Just because your circumstances weren't as fortunate as others, I think your talent level still remains the same. His talent level is as good as anyone out there. I thought he was as talented as Trevor Lawrence at one particular point in time. I still think he is. Maybe Trevor Lawrence has a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit better than him, but not much. So we're talking about a guy, to me, who's on a very even playing field with guys like Trey Lance and Justin Fields and these guys. So if your team draft this man right here, you are drafting the goods. His best football is going to be ahead of him, straight up. So if he can stay healthy, man, this guy could be the steal of the draft. We'll be talking about this dude 10, 15 years from now, like, damn, for real. But, man, as always, make sure you support quality content, right? Your boy giving you this heat rock. A lot of people trying to run with my style and everything like that, but you know who's the originator of it, baby? It's your boy Murph, the Underground King. But with that being said, peace.
What more can I say?
Top billing.